Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Respected elders, brothers and sisters, my loving Sai Ram, my Koti Pranam to the lotus feet of our Bhagwan Sri Sathya Sai Baba. May 6 every year is celebrated as Eashwaramma Day, commemorating the anniversary of the passing away of the saintly lady who was blessed to be mother to the avatar of Kali Yuga. May 6 is also celebrated as Children's Day in all Sai organizations throughout the country. Bal Vikas groups in every Sai center perform songs, dances, and value games glorifying God and expressing their gratitude to the Blessed Mother for having gifted them with the most precious possession of their lives, their Swami. Last year, we were in a complete lockdown period. This year again, we've just gone through a phase of confinement. But this do not stop us from performing. Here is a short virtual program which we humbly present to you on the occasion of Eashwaramma Day. Thank you. Jai Sai Ram.
Om Sai Ram. She was always there for the devotees. There are a number of instances when Eashwaramma was unable to bear the suffering of a devotee and went straight to Swami and pleaded on their behalf. If ever she took the liberty of accessibility to Swami, it was for the sake of some distressed and disconsolate soul. In one instance, there was a couple from West Godavari who had come with a terribly sick child and waited in Puttaparthi for a week. Due to financial constraints, they were unable to extend their stay and were about to leave crestfallen. As a last resort, they met Eashwaramma, and when the mother heard their plight, she took the boy by his hand and immediately led him upstairs to Swami's room and pleaded with him to cure the child. Swami gave her a patient hearing and then calmly said, Chustanu, meaning, I will see. But no, she was not satisfied and insisted that Swami show mercy to the poor family now. And Swami finally gave in to her prayers and healed the child. As he said, a mother's prayers never go unfulfilled. After the Prashantinaya Mandir was constructed, the mother, who did not want to miss an opportunity to be beside her son, chose to live in the Prashanti temple itself. This was a boon for the devotees, for they benefited immensely from the comforting advice, caring counseling, and ever ready to help attitude. She was accessible to all, and devotees found in her someone genuinely interested in their welfare. Eashwaramma met untold numbers of devotees who would cry out their heart to her and pour forth their sorrows. She would listen patiently and not remember their problems in detail but bring them to Swami's notice whenever she found an opportunity. Om Sai Ram.
Now is a short story on Eashwaramma. So it dated in the 1960s. In a village, there was an old woman who used to stay around a mandir. So, She was once getting charcoal for cooking purposes, and she was suffocating by the fire and fell unconscious. So nobody knew about her when she didn't came out of the house for a few days. Then people noticed and came at her home and found her lying on the floor unconscious. When this information reached Swami, he was far from being pleased. He was really sad and a bit angry. So he told his devotees, it is our duty to think for the well-being of our neighbors and to ensure that they are safe. So after these words, Eashwaramma decided to herself visit every houses to ensure that all the neighbors were safe and sound. Once it happened, on her usual house visiting, Eashwaramma was visiting an old lady, and at that time she tripped over some bricks and fell down. She was injured on her ankle. So at the same time, the devotees came over there and took her to the hospital. When Swami learned about this, he rushed to the hospital and asked Amma, "Why do you have to move around like this to everyone's house?" Eashwaramma replied, "Well, Swami, for you nothing is impossible. You can do everything. But me, I will have to move and get to their houses to know their well-being." Swami smiled and spread some vibhuti on Eashwaramma and left the hospital. So after some time, Eashwaramma was okay and fine, back on her feet. And she really felt love for all the devotees who helped her getting better and well. And since that day, there have been a few cases where people bring their relatives or acquaintances to Swami and Eashwaramma, since they believe that if they get the blessing of Swami and Eashwaramma, they will be perfectly fine and free of any illnesses. So this is a great story of Eashwaramma and Swami, since it helps us to know that selfless love and concern can bring good rewards, and caring, loving your neighbors and your friends, relatives, or even strangers help us to build a strong bonding. And Swami himself said, caring for others is like caring for God. Sai Ram.
Loving Sairam, elders, brothers, and sisters, I offer my humble pranams at the lotus feet of our Bhagavan Sri Sathya Sai Baba. Together, let us express first of all our special thoughts to Animutu, who is now in Swami's arms. Today, we have all joined hands to express the unity in our thoughts, words, and deeds through the blissful online celebration of Eashwaramma Day. Currently, the whole world is suffering from the COVID-19 coronavirus infection, and India is a country mostly affected. So now let us all pray for the global healing of all and ask our Swami to appease the long sufferings of all. Eashwaramma, you are our ideal mother. We pray to you, the saintly mother, to alleviate the sufferings of all your children. Now let's talk a bit about our human values. All intensify the practice of the 5 human values: truth, right conduct, peace, love, and non-violence, taught by our Swami. Let us all put a ceiling on our desires by not wasting food, water, money, time, and energy. I wish to thank each and everyone who have contributed to make this program a successful and beautiful one. We are all an instrument in Swami's hand to carry out his divine works and practice his divine teachings. Jai Sai Ram, stay safe, stay blessed.
Mother Eashwaramma, you gave birth to Sai and gave the universe the Lord of the Lords. You adorned him as a child, treasured in the pupil of your eye. Who else other than you can claim to such glory? To Mother Earth, who has borne you, you are dear, the Queen Mother to the clan of Ratnakar.
Om Sai Ram. On almost every Eashwaramma Day, Swami gives a discourse and loads the devotion and love she had for him, and the compassion and concern she showed towards others. In these discourses, Swami has shared events which provided deep insights into her noble life and character. For instance, on Eashwaramma Day in 1999, Swami revealed once after Shivratri, after he completed his course, lingas were ready to emerge from his mouth. Seeing Swami suffering, Eashwaramma got up from the gathering and came to Swami. She said, Swami, why do you suffer like this? Come inside, come inside. Swami said that he wouldn't come inside, and rather than watching Swami suffering, Eashwaramma went inside. As soon as Eashwaramma went inside, Hiranyagarbhalinga emerged. All devotees bursted into thunderous applause. Hearing this, Eashwaramma came back. All people got up to have a glimpse of the lingas. As a result, Eashwaramma wouldn't see it. Next day, she pleaded to Swami and said that she wants to see the linga. Swami said that he has already given it to somebody. But then Eashwaramma said, Swami, I haven't seen it. I want to see it. Swami told Eashwaramma that she would see it in the future anyway. Eashwaramma said that I do not want to put you to inconvenience and went away. Eashwaramma never wanted to put Swami into trouble. Whenever Eashwaramma asked for something, she would come back and ask if she had given any trouble to Swami. To all devotees who came, she used to entreat not to cause any inconvenience to Swami. This was the only result of her sacred love for Swami. Om Sai Ram.
Once, Eashwaramma was returning from Chitravati river with a vessel full of water. An old woman was walking along with her with great difficulty while carrying the vessel filled with water. Eashwaramma inquired, Mother, are you having difficulty in carrying the vessel full of water? The old woman, who was perspiring and unable to keep pace with her, replied, Yes, mother, I am unable to carry this vessel for such a long distance, but I have no children to help me in this task. I myself have to carry this vessel full of water every day. These words of agony were imprinted on the mind of Eashwaramma. After walking for some distance, she saw a small boy holding a slate and pencil in one hand and carrying a heavy load of books in a bag hanging round his neck. He had difficulty in walking, but he had to continue his journey to the Bukkapatnam school. Eashwaramma inquired of the boy, My dear son, what for are these slate and pencil? Why are you carrying such a heavy load of books? The small boy replied, Mother, I am carrying these books so that I can note down all that the teachers teach me. After walking for some more distance, she came across a frail lady carrying her infant child on her shoulders, proceeding towards Bukkapatnam. Eashwaramma again inquired of this lady, You appear to be frail and weak, unable to carry the child. Why should you walk such a long distance up to Bukkapatnam? The lady replied, Mother, what else can I do? There is no doctor in this remote village who can give some medicine for my child. He is suffering from cold and fever. I have to take him to the Bukkapatnam hospital. Om Sai Ram.
These three incidents made an imprint on the mind of Eashwaramma. Once, Eashwaramma came in when Swami was eating. She held Swami's hands and pleaded, Swami, there is no hospital in our village. Consequently, when the children become sick, mothers are forced to carry them to Bukkapatnam. I am unable to see their suffering. My children and others' children are one and the same for me. So kindly construct at least one hospital in our village. Swami promised her that he will fulfill her wish, which led to the establishment of general hospitals and super specialty hospitals in Puttaparthi and Bangalore. Eashwaramma was not a scholar, yet her heart was filled with compassion. One day, she approached Swami and said, Swami, there are so many rich people in this region, yet the people of our village have to walk all the way to Bukkapatnam to attend school. My heart grieves to see these little children walk miles. Swami, could you please build a small school in our village? Swami replied, I don't have money. She immediately removed the gold chain from her neck, gave it to Swami and said, Swami, please sell it and build a school. Swami told her, don't be hasty. It is only to test you I said so. I will definitely construct a school. On the following day, the foundation was laid, and within a short period, the school building was ready. Initially, it was a small one, which had grown into a large educational institute today. She was very happy. She went to the school, kissed the children, and showered her love on them. Then she wanted the village to have drinking water. Swami promised that it would be done. The bore wells were dug to overcome water scarcity, but they became useless within a short period of time. Swami got a bigger well dug in the old mandir. Yet bhavam, tat bhavati. As is the feeling, so is the result. If the intention is good, the result is also bound to be good. As the intentions were good, a copious spring of pure water gushed forth, even from a depth of 7 feet. At the back of the mandir, an entrance was provided for people to collect water.
Sai Ram. The celebration of the life of Mother Eashwaramma, the mother of Sathya Sai Baba, began on May 6, 1977 as Children's Day in commemoration of her death anniversary. Sathya Sai Baba has said innumerable times that the mother is the first preceptor, that is, guru of man. Mother Eashwaramma is the example of an ideal mother. On May 6, Eashwaramma's life is celebrated around the world by remembering her exemplary life, performing acts of selfless service for the needy, and singing the glories of God. Om Sai Ram.
They say great and noble souls never die, but continue to inspire after death. Eashwaramma was one such being who unceasingly is concerned about Swami even after death. During a discourse on May 6, 2001, to the utter amazement of the audience, Swami disclosed, "You may be aware or not, but even after 33 years of her passing away, Mother Eashwaramma continues to express her love for Swami in a number of ways. Even to this day, she moves around in her physical body. At times, she comes to me and expresses her motherly love and concern for my well-being."
Swami Sathya Sai